Okay, so today we're going to be doing a highly requested thing. So everybody knows his story. It's basically this like story channel that posts a lot of these videos. And last time I reacted to it, you guys loved it. But there's now a brand new channel called Her Story, where basically it's like his story, but it's a girl. See? It's called Her Story. So today we're going to be reacting to the Her Story shorts, and we're going to be seeing if her story is better than his story. But yeah, last time I did this, it was actually really confusing, the like videos, and they're really fast paced, but we're going to try our best, okay? And I need you guys to let me know down below in the comments with a timestamp the best video, that we reacted to, and as well, hit the like button. Why did somebody say they goon to he? What is that? Oh, wait, somebody said they just gooned to Her Story. I think that's a little bit weird. Anyways, let's go.
I just buckled my little sister in her car seat.
Okay, so Her Story buckled her little sister in a car seat.
When I realized my keys were inside and panicked when I couldn't open the door. Okay. I yelled, "Help," and yanked the handle, but our school security guard grabbed my shoulder and pulled me away. I just caught you red-handed.
Wait, chat, why is Her Story like... Okay, I don't mean to pause, but like, chat, why... You know what? I'm not getting clipped today. We're gonna keep going.
A woman stormed over.
Here we go.
I just buckled my little sister in her car seat when
Sorry.
I realized my keys were inside and panicked when I couldn't open the door. I yelled, "Help," and yanked the handle, but our school security guard grabbed my shoulder and pulled me away. I just caught you red-handed.
How dare him!
You're going to jail, car thief. I grasped his shoulders and shook them hard before pointing through the window. That's my sister, and today is the hottest day of the year.
Yo, chat, Her Story, like, bro. Oh my gosh, chat, low key.
If we don't get her out soon, she could pass out from the heat. He calmly tapped the glass. "Ma'am, do you know this thief?" But my sister was 2 years old, so she just waved at him with a smile. He nodded slowly, looked.
Yo, security guard looks like a janitor. Like, if I think of like a school janitor, that's him.
Like, that's a no. I pulled out my student ID with shaking hands and showed it to him, but he started laughing. "That's obviously forged. You probably made it at home." I looked at my sister and her
Oh, what a hater, bro. Let her get her sister out the car. I'm clipping.
cheeks were turning red from the heat. My heart started pulling out of my chest, so I begged the guard, "Please just break the glass and get her out." But he just wagged his finger. "Nice try. That's destroying evidence." Then he pulled traffic cones off his cart and coned off the car with my sister still in it. I saw her lay her palm flat against the glass, and sweat began pouring down her face due to the heat. She started crying.
No, like, facts, bro. I don't care what the security guard says, bro. Just smash the window. Like, I agree. Why not just smash the window?
I could barely hear her through the glass, and that made my blood boil. So I ran past the guard and yanked the handle myself, but he dragged me back again and lifted his radio. "The suspect is attempting forced entry." I pointed at the window fogging up from her breathing and screamed, "She's overheating. She needs my help." He leaned in close to the fog and squinted his eyes. "Interesting. Maybe she's on some chemicals." That's when my sister got spooked by his face and slapped the glass. The security guard yelled, "The accomplice is getting aggressive," and swung his radio up to point the antenna at her. But the metal tip smacked the window and shattered the whole thing. I dove through, unbuckled my sister, and pulled her out with shaking hands. Her arms locked around my neck, so I told her, "I'm so glad you're okay," and held her until she stopped crying. The guard stood frozen, whispering, "I destroyed the evidence." I held my sister and told him he'd better cone himself off. He looked at his cones. Then he actually picked up a cone, placed it in front of his own shoes, and radioed in his location. I'd just buckled my...
Bro, what? Okay, Her Story. So, Her Story has now rescued her sister from a car. By the way, normally if your keys are in the car, you can like sometimes open the door. If you have like, okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe that's just my car. Okay.
A woman stormed over while I was pushing my son David on the swing and told me,
"Wait, chat, how many kids does Her Story have?" So we have a little girl, now a little guy. Okay, interesting.
"Get away from that child. Where are his real parents?" I told her.
No, that's a crazy thing to say. Chat, that is a crazy thing to say. Okay, no, that's crazy. That's actually crazy.
David was my son and took
No, that's crazy, bro.
his hand to leave, but she stepped in front of me and blocked my path. "You're not going anywhere with him, you sick woman." I
punch her.
tried
Do
to
it
walk
right now.
around her, but she ripped David's hand out of mine, picked him up, and stepped back. He screamed and reached for me, but she pulled him against her chest and turned away. The whole park stopped and stared. She set David down on
Yo, what?
the grass behind her and crouched in front of him. "It's okay, sweetie. Tell me where your real mommy is. You're safe
That's
now."
crazy.
David sobbed and pointed at me. "That's my mommy. Mommy,
That's crazy.
please." The woman turned David's face toward her and shook her head. "No, honey. Look at her skin. Now look at your skin."
Nah, that's
She
wild.
pointed at his arm. It's different. She's not your mommy. She took
Nah,
you. David
that's
cried harder and tried to
crazy.
push past her, but she held him in place. I went to step around her, but she stood up and shoved me with both hands. I hit the grass hard. She
Oh, come on, her story, bro. Punch her already. Bro, seriously. That's crazy. I didn't know her story was now making racist shorts. Okay.
turned to the rest of the park and screamed, "This woman kidnapped a black child. Somebody call the police." Other parents
Chat. That's actually crazy.
pulled out their phones, and one of them was already on the line with 911. She picked David up against her hip and started carrying him toward her SUV. He kicked and reached for me, but she placed him in her car. I ran towards him, but she smiled at me
Punch her already.
and got in. Just as she was about to press the accelerator, the cops arrived. They asked what was going on, and she stepped out of her car and said, "She kidnapped a black child. Arrest her." I pulled David's adoption certificate out of my bag and handed it to the officer. He read it, looked at the woman, and told her to get my son out of
No, facts. Her story is rage
her
baiting.
car right now. She stammered, "But
Yeah, facts. Arrest this girl right here. This girl right here needs to be arrested.
look at them. Their skin is..." He told her she had 5 seconds before she was being arrested for attempted kidnapping of a minor. She went pale and immediately unbuckled David's seatbelt, and he sprinted to me. Then the officer cuffed her anyway. David looked at her with tears still on his face and said, "She's scary." Her face crumpled as she got in the squad car because the child she was protecting now saw her as a monster.
Chat, these are like the weirdest shorts ever, bro. Alrighty.
The owner, Jerry, stormed in during a busy Friday night shift and immediately turned off the music. He told every customer they had to leave right now without paying. Everyone was shocked.
Whoa,
But
what?
Jerry just ushered them out. Our whole staff started asking what was going on, but the
Okay, so her story works at a coffee shop?
second the last customer left, Jerry instantly padlocked the front door. None of my staff are leaving. Jerry pulled out his phone and started making phone calls immediately, calling corporate, his lawyers, the police. Our line cook, who never showed emotion and no one ever heard speak, asked if this was
Wait,
really
what?
necessary. But Jerry ignored him and ordered every staff member to gather in the back. When we did, I noticed my sister wasn't there. She was working with me tonight, but I couldn't see her. She'd told me earlier she was feeling sick, so I presumed she'd gone home. But then Jerry walked up to us with his hand out. "Everyone who has keys to the back freezers, hand them over right now." 5 of us gave him our key.
No way he put her story's sister in the back freezer. Can you imagine living like a her story level life, chat? Imagine.
Including me and the line cook. You see, our restaurant had 5 freezers in the back, and each key unlocked a different freezer. He marched the 5 of us to the back and stood in front of the first freezer. He started testing every single key. The first one didn't fit. The second didn't either. My heart was pounding, and when I looked beside me, the line cook was just standing completely still. Jerry kept muttering under his breath while trying the keys, but then he tried the key belonging to the
Chat, is her sister in the...
line cook, and the freezer opened. Jerry turned to the line cook immediately. "Stand against the wall."
Yes or no?
Hands
What do
in
you
the
guys
air.
think?
Don't move. The line cook didn't say a word and backed up against the wall, his face unreadable. Jerry told us, "Hold his arms against the wall. Don't let it
Feps are rating me now. I have 50 subs. Congrats, bro. Let's go.
move." We were all confused, but did it anyway. But then Jerry pointed at me. "Not you. You need to see this." I was shaking as I let go of the line cook. Me and Jerry walked into the freezer, and he pointed at
No, don't tell
one
me she's
specific
in there, bro.
container with tears in his eyes. My hands were trembling as I lifted the lid. My legs immediately gave out. My sister was inside. Her skin was blue and her eyes were frozen open. I noticed a faint glow through her pocket, and when I reached in and pulled out her phone, one message was typed out to me but never sent. "Please help. The line cook locked me in the freezer. Please." I turned around and saw officers cuffing the line cook. I dropped to my knees and screamed at him. "Why?" But his face stayed completely
What is
still.
this?
I don't know. I just wanted to see what it would feel like. The owner, Jerry, stormed in.
Bro, what? No, actually, imagine living a her story level life, bro. What are these videos? Wait, hold on, chat. Let's react to some more her story. All right, let's get it.
I tucked my toddler into her crib for nap time, but she refused to sleep and kept pointing at the birds.
Okay, how many kids does this woman have, bro?
Told her she wasn't a bird, but then I heard a massive crash behind me. I turned and saw my husband was hauling a giant fan into the room. "I got this 80% off on sale, babe. Look how powerful it is." He cranked it to full before I could respond, and the wind hit me so hard I stumbled backward. But then something shrieked, "Mommy!" behind me. My toddler had climbed onto the windowsill while I wasn't looking to reach for the birds, but now the wind
Bro, are you... Okay, I'm gonna be honest, bro. We have gotten to the point where her story's kid is about to fly because of a fan. Low-key, I might try
from
this.
the fan had shoved her onto the ledge. I lunged towards her, screaming, "Turn the fan off!" But I wasn't fast enough. The fan's wind pushed my 2-year-old out of the second-story window. I watched her tip and bolted for the stairs, gripping my head in horror. My husband
If she walks outside and this kid's flying, I'm
Then
scrolling.
ran after me, screaming, "Babe, calm down. It's gonna be okay. Everything is fine." But I wasn't listening or going to calm
What?
down. I burst through the back door, hyperventilating and pale with fear. And then I saw my daughter bouncing and giggling in a massive foam pit I'd never seen. My husband tapped my shoulder.
Bro, what are these videos? No, bro. Okay.
I forgot to mention, the foam pits were on sale too. I told you everything was fine. I was still shaking when my daughter looked up at me with her arms stretched out wide. "Mommy, I flew like the birds." I tucked my toddler.
Bro. Bro, does her story not make you guys just like, bro, does this not just like trick your mind? Like, come on, bro. What, bro? What is it? Like, what? Okay, this just makes no sense, bro. This is absolute rage bait. Like, okay, bro. Okay.
I asked a karate master if he could train me for prison,
This is so much more different than the videos.
and he kicked me to the ground. I twitched on the floor. I got 90 days.
Okay, so now she's going to prison. Okay, her story. Imagine living a her story life, bro. I'm serious. General chat, his story, Mogs, bro. What? Hi, Real Atlas.
Jake's mom pointed at the wall of.
All right, let's try this
I
again.
asked a karate master if he could train me for prison, and he kicked me to the ground. I twitched on the floor. I got 90 days for selling fake Jordans. I'm 95 pounds. If I don't learn how to fight, I'll die in.
90 days for selling fake Jordans? Man,
He
that's...
pulled me up with one hand. "We have much work to do, but there's no guarantee this will work." I grabbed his hand. "I'll do anything." He answered by taking my hand and bending my fingers back one by one until every knuckle popped. Lesson 1. Any man who puts his hand on you is handing you 5 small bones. Tears streamed down my face. "Yes, master." The next morning, he walked
Wait, hey, yo, what?
me into his kids' class and clapped twice. Attack her. 8 white belts swarmed me,
Ruxer hit 100K viewers.
and an 8-year-old girl swept my legs, dropping me flat on the floor. I limped over holding my ribs. "Why did you do that? They're children." He pressed a gold star onto her uniform. "If children can put you down, the yard will bury you." That night, I couldn't sleep because I knew he was right. A fight was guaranteed to happen, and when it did, I needed to survive. The next morning, I bowed my head. "I'm ready to do anything you ask." He pressed a gold star on to my chest. Good. A month of popped knuckles later, on my last free morning, he fed me a snake. As I chewed it while sitting cross-legged to meditate, he lowered something heavy onto my shoulders. My eyes shot open as I saw an anaconda thicker than my arm coiled around my neck, its tongue flicking at my
Bro, these videos are
jaw,
bro.
but I kept my hands flat on my knees until it settled like a scarf. He nodded once. "You have achieved inner peace. You are ready." The next day, I went to prison, traded my clothes for a jumpsuit 2 sizes too big, and before the gate even shut, the biggest inmate in the yard stepped off the weight bench. She grabbed a fistful of my collar and lifted me onto my toes, smiling like a shark, showing every tooth. Fresh meat. Her knuckles
Bro, the fact that in her story's world you can get 90 days for selling Jordan, like, that's facts. Did you know Ruxer hacked your channel?
pressed under my chin, and I grinned because she'd just given me her hand. I peeled her pinky off my collar and snapped it back, then the next, and the next, cracking each finger one by one as that shark smile dissolved into screams. She dropped to her knees, so I kicked her flat onto the concrete the exact way the karate master had kicked me. Everything he'd spent a month teaching
That's so much aura, bro. Her story has so much aura.
me, I just used on the biggest inmate in the yard in 10 seconds. The yard went silent. I held out my hand the way the old man had held out his, and the shark took it with the hand that still worked. I asked a karate master.
Okay, guys, these videos make no sense, bro.
Jake's mom pointed at the wall of 7 photographs, every one of them a different man named Peter, and announced, "Your son will be the 8th. I shook my head. No way. My uncle was named Peter too, and he went to prison for arson. People died. She waved her hand
Okay,
like she was swatting a fly. That has nothing to do with our Peters. 9 months later, my hands were still shaking from labor when I handed the nurse our paperwork naming my son Oliver. Jake's parents came to the hospital that afternoon, and as soon as
wait, chat. How many sons does her story have, bro? Because, like, oh my goodness, it's like the 7th kid.
his
Like,
mom saw the birth certificate, she turned red. "You'll regret that." She stormed out before I could ask what she meant. 4 weeks later, a CPS worker stood on our porch holding
that's the same girl.
a
No.
report claiming Oliver was starving. She walked through our house, checked Oliver's weight chart, and found nothing,
Crazy.
apologizing on her way out for wasting our morning. 2 weeks later, she knocked again, this time glancing at her notepad instead of me. Anonymous tip. Someone reported screaming. She looked past me at Oliver, asleep in his bassinet, and rubbed her forehead. Same phone number as last time. I still have to write this up. A month later, she came back a 3rd time, and before I could even open the door fully, she held up her hand. "This report claims you're planning to sacrifice him. This is getting ridiculous, and you need to file a police report." My hands went cold, and I pulled Oliver tighter against my chest. The next day, Jake and I sat across a metal table from a detective who spread pages of phone records in front of us one at a time, tapping each page. Same
Okay, sorry, chat. Are you guys, like, does this just not, like, hurt your brain? Like, come on.
number, every single call. Then he slid a printed text message across the table. "Read this."
What if his story is her story's husband? Wait, that's actually ball knowledge. Wait, that's actually true.
It was from Jake's mom to his dad, sent the night Oliver was born. We need to get Peter before it's too late. We took them to court for harassment and filing false reports, and I stood up before the judge could speak. I turned to face Jake's mom directly, the printed message trembling in my hand.
Hey, tell
You
her.
wrote this the night he was born. We need to get Peter before it's too late. I set it down on the table between us. His name is Oliver. It's always been Oliver. Jake's mom's face crumpled, and she started crying while his dad stared at his own hands and said nothing. The judge cleared his throat. Ma'am, why are you so obsessed with naming your grandson Peter? She sniffled. Spider-Man's real name is Peter. The judge gave us a restraining order. Jake's mom pointed at the wall of 7 photographs.
Bro, guys, these videos make no sense, bro. His story low-key mongs her story in long-form vids.
This boy was trolling on the dark web when her sister noticed he slammed his laptop shut. He was shivering, and she knew something was wrong. Scared, he immediately ran to the living room. She yelled, "What happened?" But he wouldn't say anything. He started freaking
Wait, chat, but this was before her story was actually a character,
out,
right?
closing all of their blinds, locking the front door, and she begged him to tell her what was going on. He was freaking out, and that's when she opened his laptop. She couldn't believe it. Someone sent him a picture of their front door. They sent another picture, and when she clicked on it, it was a picture of her through their window that said, "She looks tasty." She couldn't breathe.
What? Oh, no. I don't know how much more of this I can take, bro, before my video gets age restricted.
She was about to run and grab their dad, but her brother grabbed her arm saying, "No, he'll kill me if he knew I was on there." Neither of them slept that night until someone rang the doorbell the next morning. A guy with a badge told their dad they saw some suspicious activity coming from their network, but he told him he didn't know anything about it. He told them to stay safe. But the next day in class, her principal burst through their door. She told her she had to come with her that second.
Wait, my stream got age restricted? Oh my gosh, bro, I'm sorry.
And that the police were there, and she followed her to the office thinking it had to be her brother. But the second she walked in, she saw the same guy from yesterday holding his badge. He smiled when he saw her
What?
and told her there was an emergency at her house. He grabbed her arm and tried to pull her out, but she resisted. "No, tell me what happened. Is my brother okay?" But he didn't say anything. "Come with us." She didn't want to, but her principal nodded and said, "They're
Wait a minute.
police officers, honey. Go with them." They took her outside, but she noticed their car didn't have any police stickers on it. She thought these guys must just be undercover.
Yeah.
But when they put her in the back, she immediately noticed there weren't any door handles either. There was no way she could get out. "Where are we going?"
She got
But
kidnapped.
they laughed. She was sweating now. "Please, I just want to see my brother." But they didn't say anything until they saw
No, it's good,
flashing
Rock.
lights behind them. Both of the guys immediately got nervous. And when she realized it was the
Yeah.
police, she knew this was her chance. The cop was walking up to the car, and she was about to scream for help. But just before she did, she felt something sharp in her stomach. She looked down and saw the man holding a knife against her. The cop walked up and looked inside the car. And when he saw her crying, he looked suspicious. She tried anything she could to signal for help, but the man said, "That's just my
What?
niece. She's upset because we didn't get McDonald's." She couldn't say anything. The knife was already cutting her skin, and the cop just told them to have a good day. She was crying, but they drove off. She accepted her life was over. She wasn't ever gonna see her family again until they started arguing. "He saw our faces, man. If we kill her, they're gonna know it was
Yo.
us." So in that moment, they opened the door and threw her out, and she had to run back with her hands tied. This boy
Bro, what? Of course, McDonald's. Hi, Nathan. This is his story? No, it's her story, bro. We're reacting to her story. All right, let's do this. Okay, how about this? Last video, chat. Last video. Lock in. We're gonna understand this one.
I was walking alone at night when a police officer started walking beside me and grabbed
Why is it always the police officers?
my arm. "Don't react and keep walking. Someone's following you." I subtly turned around and saw a man in a dark hood 30 feet behind me, matching my pace. I stopped for a second, and he instantly leaned against the wall, trying to seem discreet. The officer told me to stay calm and walk with him. He guided me forward, gripping my arm so tight I couldn't pull away even if I wanted to. I kept glancing back, and the man was now closer.
Okay, so she has somebody following her, and apparently this police officer is trying to help her. Or the police officer is a part of the team, and they're both gonna kidnap her. Make your guesses in the
That's
chat.
when he walked through a streetlight, and the light shined down on something metallic sticking from his pocket. My whole body went cold. I pressed closer to the officer and told him what I saw. He nodded and said, "Don't worry, we'll get you home. You're safe with me." But then he started steering us away from the lit-up main road and onto a darker sidewalk,
Wow.
almost like he was leading me somewhere specific. That, plus his grip on my arm, made me feel uneasy. But when I turned around, the man was now walking straight at me, holding the metallic object. And
Why does that kind of look like his story?
No longer trying to be discreet, I knew I had no choice but to trust the officer. I told him the man was closer, and he looked around, pointing to an alleyway nearby. This cuts through to the other side of the street. You can call a cab from there. He gripped my arm even tighter and pulled me. I was about to just go with it, but then I saw a taxi sitting 50 feet in front of me with its light on. I told the officer,
bro, I'm booking it for that taxi, punching the officer in the nuts, and I'm booking it for the taxi.
I'll just take this one, but his grip tightened. The man is still too close and the alleyway is safer. He tried pulling me again, but I yanked my arm free and sprinted toward the cab. He reached for me again, but I was too far away. I got in and locked the door, shaking and unsure what to even think. Then 3 weeks later, I was watching the morning news, and my coffee slipped out of my hands. 2 men were arrested for the murder of a woman. The officer who grabbed my arm and the man in the hood. They worked together. The man followed her at night, and the officer lured her into an alleyway under the guise of safety. The woman who trusted the officer never came home to her kids. I was walking.
Yo, chat, that's crazy. Okay, well, look, there is her story. Let me know down below in the comments what you think, if you rate it a W or an L. And if you haven't, hit that like button and that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.